hope Zephyros is still alive.
Me too. Look at the tower! It's still brimming with magical energy. That's a good sign. Let's go in.
Master Zephyros, are you alright? You look terrible.
Malachor doesn't want to kill me. He just wants to make me suffer. What are you doing here again?
We found the Celestial Navigator.
The Navigator appeared to you.
Yes, she's actually my music teacher.
Your music teacher? Incredible.
We've been through a lot. Lovette managed to return home but couldn't stay long because the damage this lord did to her broke the spell Master Zarya had cast on her. And I have found a way to help my friends, at least partially.
Sir, we need to know about this artifact you've spoken of, the Orb of Aeonis? What is it? What does it do? Where did it come from?
I can understand why you seek knowledge of this. You are out of options now, and that's why I'll tell you the truth. But know that this truth comes at a great cost. Malachor will target you from now on. Are you certain you want to hear it?
Yes.
Everything I told you about the artifact was true. I fought Malachor and destroyed the orb, scattering its pieces across the plains. But I lied when I said they lost their magical abilities and couldn't be found. The truth is, they still hold their magical essence, even separated. There are 8 pieces in total, and I hold one of them.
You have one of the pieces?
That's my curse. The true reason Malachor keeps me imprisoned and tortures me. To extract the information on where this place is.
What happens if you tell him?
It's not just if I tell him. The curse breaks and my life ends the moment I share the information with anyone. Malachor never anticipated someone would reach me here.
That's awful. I understand if you don't want to do this.
I see a look on your face, Lovette. That's all too familiar. The yearning for home. We share that longing. All I can think about now is home. I'd do anything to return. But for me, it's too late. I don't want it to be the same for you. Your determination has convinced me. That's why I'll share what I know.
But isn't there another way to help you?
Yes, there must be a way.
This is the only way, and you should not worry about me. I will finally be free from this hell I'm living. I would be more worried about you holding this knowledge.
Then we won't let this go to waste. Please, sir, share your knowledge with us.
The Orb of Aeonis. It's an artifact of ancient origin, created by wizards whose names have been lost to time. Its power is immense, beyond what most can fathom. I've sensed its ability to manipulate time and space. Legends say it can open portals and alter reality, though I cannot tell you the full extent of its powers. Malachor's desire for the orb is driven by its potential. He believes it can grant him control over reality itself. That's why he hunts for its fragments so relentlessly.
That's terrible. He sounds like a horrible man.
Or a desperate one.
And how exactly can someone activate the orb?
There are whispers that activating the orb requires a special condition. Perhaps a specific ritual. I wish I could tell you more, but I don't know for certain.
How do you know all this?
Funny story. The orb is the one who showed me.
The orb?
When the orb was shattered, and I touched this one piece of it, a glimpse of memory crossed my mind. It was short and vague, but I think that each piece holds its part of information. So, you'll get the truth, eventually. I hope I can manage to learn it too.
And how did you find it in the first place?
It was pure luck. That's everything I know. And that leaves us with the final question.
Where did you hide the first piece?
In a moment, back in time, I'll show you.
There's nothing this temple has to offer.
If one thing had been different, would everything be different today?
Zephyros, please stay. Everything you need is here. The brothers, with our sisters, with me.
There isn't a day that goes by when I don't think of that moment. Huali's plea for me to stay. What if I had stayed? Would I be happier with her? I don't know. The weight of that uncertainty is a burden I carry every day.
You don't understand. No one understands.
Understand what?
The potentials.
What potentials?
My potentials.
If one thing had been different, would everything be different today?
My potentials. There's nothing this temple has to offer.
I went back to that moment, unable to change the whole past, but I was able to change one little thing.
What potentials?
My potentials.
The first piece.
At that moment, I left a piece of my future behind, a fragment of hope.
Huali, remember me.
Now, you know where to go.
Master Zephyros, your chains, they're dissolving.
The curse is broken.
I'm finally free. My journey may have ended,
But yours will become even more difficult from now on. But you already knew that, didn't you? Farewell.
Welcome back to another episode of Season 2 of the B&D podcast. What an intro today, huh? I still can't get over it. A curse is lifted, you guys, and Zephyros is dead in our story. And that's the main reason why we decided to discuss a really interesting topic about cursed items in mythology, literature, television, video games, animes, and obviously Dungeons and Dragons.
Do you feel cursed, Zephy?
Oh,
A
yeah.
traveler once cursed me when I was 17, and I always felt like I will never be able to break this curse.
Well, that makes someone's background more spicy, right? But I am good. A little tired, to be honest. Nothing serious, though. I think I just need some more sleep. But what about you, Val? How are you?
Well, as you can tell from my lovely husky voice again, I'm quite unwell, as usual. It just has to be like that every time we have to record. Certainly due to my curse, I guess. But I think it's just the life of the voice actor.
Yeah, that's the struggle
Yeah.
you're living now. And not because of partying hard and singing even harder to karaoke while you were already sick.
No,
And I told you, stay in bed, get some rest.
I
No
am
way.
staying in bed now.
You're really wild shaped into a party animal. But before we dive into our discussion, though, let's give a shout out to our favorite wizard, Jamie Peary. We thank you for bringing Zephyros back to life, Zephyros old and Zephyros new, because they were both amazing. For as long as it lasted, though, with your voice. And to our beloved Huali, Andrea Guidry, it's always a pleasure hearing her voice and also working with her because apart from a very, very talented actor and a voice actor, she is also a very professional, sweet, funny, and smart person. So thank you for being here once again, and we really appreciate it. You will find both of their information down in the description box, so you can check them out. Now, let's dive into our second episode. Are you all ready for it?
Yes, and I will take the lead on this,
Of
Zephy.
course.
As we all know, since the beginning of time, superstition and fear inspired people to create so many stories about cursed items and curses in general. We can trace that back to the dawn of time even. Myths such as the myth of Pandora's box, for example, or the sword and the stone even. Cursed items exist in every mythology and folklore, and they were mostly used as lessons or maybe to scare children from misbehaving or not doing what they're told.
If it worked, it worked. And it's funny because you mentioned Pandora's box, and since it's the epitome of a cursed item in history, in my opinion, it definitely serves as a lesson, since it's a metaphor of something that brings misfortune, but also something that gives hope. According to Britannica, as we Greeks know already, or at least the ones who paid attention to their history lessons, Hesiod mentioned Pandora in his works Theogony. After Prometheus stole fire from the heavens and gave it to people, Zeus asked Hephaestus to create a box that will contain all manner of misery and evil, and then he gifted it to Pandora. Pandora got curious and opened the box from which the evils were scattered through the earth. Hope alone remained inside, the lid having been shut down before she could escape. This myth teaches about human curiosity and that even if everything can have bad consequences, hope still exists down at the bottom somewhere. Very bottom, but
Yeah.
it exists.
Exactly. And sometimes, don't forget, sometimes darkness can show you the light.
Oh yeah, I love this concept. I love it.
But let's stick to ancient Greek mythology for a bit, since we're both Greek, because our ancestors love to talk about curses, apparently. We're so dramatic.
Still do.
You already mentioned Prometheus, who was a god that stole a fire and gave it to humans, but we didn't talk about his fate. He was later punished by Zeus, who bound him with his cursed chains and sent an eagle to eat his liver every day, which then grew back every night. Yum.
Oh, yeah.
So thankfully, Hercules killed that eagle and freed him from this curse. I think it's just a lovely and cheerful story as usual for us Greeks.
Doesn't that remind you of Zephyros? Oh my God.
Oh,
Well, if the story doesn't include Zeus hitting on girls while polymorphed into an animal or people suffering from the god's wrath, where is the spice, I mean? Well, I'll take you on a trip somewhere else next, in a whole new world maybe, because in Arabian mythology, jinns are powerful entities of fire who are cursed and trapped in an old lamp by an evil sorcerer. We all know that if you rub the lamp, they can appear and obey the one who set it free by granting 3 wishes. However, in the original lore, jinn are not found in brass lamps and do not grant wishes. In general, it is said that the jinns are spirits of fire and sometimes wind and can take on any form they choose, animal or human. For the ancient Semites, jinn were spirits or vanished ancient people who acted during the night and disappeared with the first light of dawn. They could turn invisible or change shape into animals at will, and these spirits were commonly believed to be responsible for diseases and complete lunacy.
I love that concept so much. It's so much better than what we already know about jinns.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's move somewhere north, though, please, since I like the cold. I'm going to talk about... Wait, until I butcher every pronunciation today. Skofnung next. We're going to talk about Skofnung. I hope that's the way to pronounce the name. This cursed Danish sword was forged for King Hrolf Kraki, and it was imbued with 12 souls who were once the king's most trusted berserker warriors and bodyguards. It never needed sharpening, and those wounded by it could not heal unless treated with a special healing stone that accompanies the sword. So the sword could never be exposed to sunlight, and drawing it near a woman was also forbidden. Skofnung's dark nature extends beyond its power, making it a cursed weapon with consequences that linger long after the battle.
I don't know if you
Spooky.
pronounced them right, but I liked it anyway. So
I try my best.
you have my approval. The accent
Thank
was
you.
great for me. But since you talked about a sword, how can we not mention the sword in the stone?
Oh, yeah.
We certainly all know about Excalibur, but did you know that the sword in the stone and the actual Excalibur were 2 different swords? According to the legend, once Arthur managed to pull the sword out of the stone, he became the true king, but he destroyed that sword during his duel with King Pellinore. And then, right after that, he's off to the Lady of the Lake to receive the real Excalibur. But this is not the only cursed sword mentioned in the legend. In the later Arthurian story of Galahad, there's a cursed sword mentioned called the Adventurer's Sword. Adventure Time! Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Among other names. It is first stolen and wielded by Balin until his death, while killing his own brother, and then is briefly taken up by Galahad, and eventually is used by Lancelot to give his former friend Gawain a mortal wound in their long final duel.
How many swords do they make for real? I swear.
Yeah, I know, right? The Iron Throne can barely compete to this.
Oh my god. Anyway, too many swords. But the next one comes from a tale of Irish mythology. One of my favorites. And let me try and pronounce Gaelic again, so everyone can laugh in the comments. So, the legendary hero Fionn MacCool, because he was so cool apparently, possessed the shield known as Scaith Galvin. Okay, that's the name of the shield.
I'm
I
still
tried my
crying.
best. If anyone is a Gaelic speaker or a Gaelic speaker, please correct me so I will stop embarrassing myself. I did my research though, so hopefully we'll be fine. Thank you. So this mystical shield is said to produce a thunderous sound that echoed throughout Ireland when wielded in battle. However, during a great battle, the shield's origin became intertwined with a cursed hazel tree on which Balor's severed head was hung. The hazel tree, tainted by the poison from Balor's head, brought doom upon those who sought to claim it, resulting in death and blindness. How Sionnach coded this shield, I swear, I'm just obsessed. The hazel tree as well, of them all. All the feels for me.
That was amazing. What a coincidence, or not?
No.
Or not. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory between you, Sionnach, and Irish mythology.
It can be because Sionnach is actually an Irish name, so it has to be something. There's destiny there. It's destiny coded.
Yes, but also the tree, the inspiration.
I know, a hazel tree. Yeah, I
What?
didn't even know about this shield up until now.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, it was meant to be.
I know.
The story repeats itself. But apart from this, let's talk about some more spooky stuff now, okay? Who doesn't like a surprise box?
I don't.
Wait, after this, maybe you like it, or maybe not. We might have found the Japanese equivalent of the Greek Pandora box, but this is even more vicious, and you can use it to destroy your enemies in every possible way. Another kind of a death note, to be honest. This is the true horror of the Kotoribako, the Japanese curse box, a cursed item capable of destroying multiple generations of a family to the point of destroying your whole lineage. For all you weebs out there, the Kotoribako can be seen in many anime and manga, such as Occultic 9, for example. It is a really unsettling curse, and it is being used up until now, so think again if you find a box buried in your garden. Don't open it.
It's such a good idea to destroy your enemies, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's harsh, but it's a good idea, yeah.
Scorpio all over it.
Yeah, that's so true, actually. Yeah, only Scorpios could use that box. No offense, but if you're a Scorpio, sorry.
Don't listen
Not
to our
sorry.
podcast. No offense, but don't. I don't want you to listen to me at all, or Zephy, please.
You Scorpios have heard her enough already, so please.
Yeah, we enough. But since we're talking about dreadful stuff just now, we had to obviously mention at this point one of the most tragic cursed items that changed many of us millennials out there. So let me get in character first. Frostmourne hunger.
The hype.
Whoever takes up this blade shall wield power eternal. Just as the blade rends flesh, so must power scar the spirit. So, Zephy, will you tell us more about Frostmourne, please?
I get those goosebumps every time. Well, Frostmourne, a fearsome sword that possessed the power to shatter and imprison the souls of its victims and could remake the living into mindless undead. So Frostmourne was thrust from the frozen throne by the Lich King Ner'zhul and was taken up by Arthas. It was wielded by him both as Death Knight and as Lich King until it was destroyed by Tyrion Fordring. In that time, the blade spilled the blood of kings, destroyed nations, and inflicted scars on the world that remain to this day. Ask Sylvanus about that, not a big fan. A moment of silence for this sword and our teenage years playing World of Warcraft, please, and for how it finally ended up in the Shadowlands expansion. Disappointing, the least. Anyway.
Let's move on to something closer to our hearts, though. Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many cursed items that I can think of, but the first that comes to mind for me is the Sword of Cass, wielded by our favorite Grog Strong Joe from Critical Role. I would like to rage.
Yes.
Cass's cursed soul is strapped in this sword, and it always needs to be bathed in blood after being drawn. How cool is that?
That's so cool.
If the sword isn't used in battle within a minute, the wielder either takes psychic damage or becomes dominated by the sword. And you also get a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls, which you can also trade from the attack bonus to add to your AC. Critical roll on a 19 or 20 on the die. Deal an additional 2d10 damage to undead creatures, a bonus of 1d10 to your initiative, and you can cast the spells Cold Lightning, Divine Ward, and Finger of Death once a day. And Grog only managed to speak to Cass while he was pooping. So, yeah, to be fair, he almost killed Pike with it, but he actually got rid of it in the end, so that was good.
And it also makes coffee. Okay, no, I'm kidding. But it's the only thing it doesn't do. Well, I loved it when they used to play it in the campaign, and I loved it in the Legends of Vox Machina 2, the animated series, and it was amazing. It still is. But since we're talking about D&D, let's talk about this nuclear of a weapon, the Wand of Orcus. The wand serves as a +3 mace that bumps your armor class by 3, deals an extra 2d12 necrotic damage, calls undead creatures at will, and allows you to cast spells such as Power Word Kill. All sound so cool so far, but if you fail to attune it, you are in big trouble. If you roll less than a 17 for your Constitution saving throw, it will literally kill you and force you to be raised as a zombie.
That sounds lovely, actually.
If your dream is to become a zombie, then here you are. So if you succeed, you still take 10d6 necrotic damage. Decisions, power or death.
I choose death. Let's not forget to quickly mention the Hand and Eye of Vecna as well. These two artifacts possess a terrible curse. Yes, of course, you get all the superpowers like superior sight, superhuman strength, but gradually they turn the user toward evil. And over time, some began to exhibit Vecna's personality, and many possessors began to believe that they were Vecna himself.
Mhm.
Not a great way to go, to be honest.
Let's talk about something I am obsessed with now, though. The one and only One Piece.
Weeb.
Yes! It's the time. So, Zoro's sword is such a cool cursed item. I could talk about this forever, I swear. The Sandai Kitetsu, as it's called, is one of the great swords. It was created by Kozuki Sukiyaki, like all of the swords crafted by members of the Kitetsu school. This one is said to be cursed and will bring a horrible death to all of its owners. So Zoro picked the sword from a barrel of cheap katanas in a shop at Logtown. He senses that it was cursed somehow, and when the owner first saw it, he was not going to allow Zoro to buy it, telling him that, it is cursed, hello. But Zoro, as the badass husbando he is, he liked the concept and decided to test his luck against the curse. He threw it into the air and held out his arm, willing to let it cut his arm off. Zoro's luck won, and the blade circled neatly around his arm. The shop owner gave Zoro both Sandai Kitetsu and Yubashiri for his skill and luck. Luck is a skill, but anyway. We're talking about the man who will become the best swordman in the whole world, so hold his spear as he cuts through almost anything with another cursed sword. This man. I mean, the swords. Yeah, the curses. The swords have curses, of course. That's the point of today's discussion. Keep going, please.
That's not actually the point, but it's fine. The point was cursed items, not just swords, but fair enough.
Wasn't it Zoro?
It wasn't Zoro, I swear.
My ADHD and me.
But last but not least, we could not mention the one ring to rule them all, the one ring to find them, the one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Goosebumps again.
The One Ring was among the most powerful artifacts ever created in Middle-earth, and by far the most dangerous. It was crafted by the Dark Lord Sauron. In the Fire of Mount Doom during the Second Age. Sauron's intent was to basically enhance his own power and exercise control over the other rings of power. And this way, he was hoping to rule over the elves and all the other people of Middle-earth. Things didn't go as planned, though, and Isildur took the ring from his dead body. But that didn't go as planned either, because Isildur was killed right after when the ring slipped from his finger and revealed his presence during an orc ambush. I'm sure we all know the rest, hopefully. Otherwise, why are you even listening to our podcast? Just go watch The Lord of the Rings, please, or just read the book. Anyway, sorry, I'm just a bit cranky just now because I'm ill. The ring corrupts you by by strengthening your evil impulses until they overwhelm you. The only one strong enough to wear it without getting corrupted is someone with a pure heart, with no desire of gaining power whatsoever. Hobbits, like me. To be fair, though, I am glad the One Ring has been destroyed once and for all, because I'm not sure not even myself would be able to wear without wanting to turn invisible and go steal D&D dice or campaign setting books.
Or sneaking in every Taylor's concert for free next to the stage.
That is true.
Well, that was a great session, but I think we should wrap this up here before Val turns into Gollum and starts screaming, "My precious!"
Or Zephy starts stalking slowly like Arwen. Cast it into the fire, destroy it.
If you want him, come and claim him.
I knew it.
Well, I wish I could talk like Erwin every day, but my hype wouldn't let me. Anyway, that was quite an informative episode, I might say.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. And we hope you did too. So let us know about your favorite cursed items. And until next time, may all your rolls be a natural 20. Bye!
Bye!